Don't engage alone. We do this together.
Yeah!
Yeah!
We got it! We got it!
New 52 book.
Somebody clip this for the woman.
Welcome to another Comics League members panel. I am the very handsome host of Comics League, Jared from Comics League. What's up? I'm here with Tevia. What's up, dude?
Hello. Yep.
And I'm here with my boy Robert. What's up, dude?
Yo!
So today we have a couple of different topics that we're going to discuss. Do you guys want to get the elephant out of the room? Get the elephant in the room out of the way first, or do you want to talk about a little bit more? Actually, you know, first off, let me do one thing. So, what are y'all reading in terms of comics? Let's start with Robert.
Oh boy, I got plenty of stuff. I'm not able to get any of my comics this week until Friday anyway, payment and everything. But I have read through the skins of that Gotham by Gaslight Kryptonian Age, and interesting book. Interesting.
It looks actually kind of cool. Of all the ways that they could take that story, I'm like, okay, I like that. Hey, what's up, Nick?
I'm just worried that it's going to be following more off of the Countdown tie-in issue where they brought in Blue Beetle and all that stuff, and it feels like that's not faithful to the original Gotham by Gaslight by bringing in, you know, a Green Lantern ring and everything. Just feels weird. I mean, Francha Brian Augustine's no longer with us, so what are you gonna do? But
well,
I was just saying.
Go ahead.
Obviously, there's Batman, Superman, and obviously, we're getting up for Absolute Power, all that. Green Lantern, so many books I'm reading, but I'm curious how they're going to be ramping up House of Brainiac. I gotta be honest, I don't know where it's going.
I know, but it looks so awesome, badass.
It's fun, but my problem is, okay, so you're going from House of Brainiac to Absolute Power. You're going from literally event to event. So I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah,
one was a more contained event going into a line event.
The problem with the House of Brainiac is that you remember the original Dawn of DC marketing where it's like Brainiac tentacles? I'm like, so that was a lie then.
Yeah, probably reworked. Probably got reworked. Less of a lie and more like that. They had an idea, teased it, and then it got reworked.
All right. How about you, Tevia?
But the tentacles were still involved, though. Technically,
but no one else references them. What's your reading, Tevia?
I read at the Green Lantern this week. It was awesome. I mean, holy shoot! And generally, we finally got to see at the Tel Paris. Yeah, I'm trying to give a credit out of the stream. And I'm so happy to kill man and how Jordan renamed me. I'd be good. I love the game that made each other. Hey, Marvel, Green DC give me a Green Lantern. It's how Jordan.
Slow down, little Davey. I can't make out what you're saying.
Okay, dude.
No, I was just saying I can't make out what he's saying. Is all I said. I can't make out what he's saying.
Yeah, Betty and Jordan was saying hey, Marvel, take note. It's John. Not sure. It's Jerry Andy giving how Jordan at the Intel Baby a couple. Marvel got them Spidey and Mary Jane.
Here's
the difference though. With DC, you don't have because here's the problem with the and Tevia, I do agree with you. Why can't they just do it there? The difference is with DC, there's not as much as an editorial like insistence that Hal and Carol be alone. Be like
it's up to the writers.
It's like it's straight up almost in the very fabric of Marvel now that Peter and MJ will never be together.
But let's be honest, though, Nick Lowe makes it spiteful. He makes it spiteful. Like
he's like Peter J. Tomasi running Lois Lane.
I think worse.
Okay.
Say what you will.
Yeah.
All the stuff with Paul and everything. Peter never went that far with Diana and Clark. Be honest about that, dude.
I know. I was, you know me. I'm just.
I know, but I'm just saying though, he's nowhere near as bad.
No,
Yeah.
bad Edward Zeb Wells his nonsense. But besides,
I blame Nick Lowe more than Zeb Wells. Zeb Wells is just a yes man.
So both sides of the ball here. But besides that, I read another book, Saint the Sun, the sequel to Super Sons. And since that's such a great book, I love the series.
Sinister Sons is all right. It's all right.
My problem with it is like the premise is strong. I get what they're going for, but you're not going to be able to capture what made the Super Sons appealing because Sinestro and Zod don't interact.
Not only that though, but it's too integrated what's going on in the other books.
That too.
I can't go to Green Lantern. It makes me happy.
All right.
I love Green Lantern. That book made it. Both this book work. And just really sad it's the book Age of 6.
My other issue is that one, it keeps reminding me that we're never going to get Chris Kent again. It keeps reminding me we're never going.
Yeah,
we're stuck with this with Laura Zod, who I hate to say it, the changes done to him were worse than what's been done to John.
I hate his freaking haircut too.
Wait,
no, Tavia, come on, John. Chris was a good character. Now we're stuck with this edgy boy. Now we're stuck with edgy boy Laura Zod.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, good point. Thanks.
So, with me in terms of DC, I'm reading Superman Action. Obviously, I too am really enjoying House of Brainiac. It's really good. Both Green Lantern books, obviously.
Yep.
Because three more issues left of War Journal.
Because I got news for you. If you're a Green Lantern fan, we are eating very, very, very well.
Yeah.
Like, good
finally.
Lord. I hope that Jeremy Adams gets to stay on Green Lantern as long as possible. Same. I'm happy because he's doing because here's the thing. Somehow he makes this run seem like it's a direct continuation of the Jeff Johns era.
Vendetti, because
and that too. But from my perspective, it's like because remember, I've only read like the only full Green Lantern run I've ever read is Hal Jordan as Jeff Johns.
Same here.
So it's like, and I read like a volume or two of Venditti, and I read 2 or 3 volumes of the stupendous Rebirth book. I know I'm complimenting Rebirth now. Well, that and the one with Jessica and Simon. I'm like,
that was amazing.
I love Simon and Green Lanterns. Yes.
So I've been reading that. But somehow some of the plot points carry over and it transitions really well. So I'm just like, I'm here for it. Indeed. And then I'm reading Batman, which I'm enjoying the failsafe thing. I like the new bat suit. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the Arkham Knight suit.
Yeah, the Robin suit on the hand.
Robin suit I don't like. The Batman suit I like.
What did you think of the twist?
I haven't read the most recent one yet.
Oh, don't say anything, David. Don't say anything.
Detective is interesting because I'm reading it.
I'm waiting till to wrap up.
The art's great. But the problem is it's so confusing. I'm like,
I'm waiting for the wrap up and then read from start to end.
I thought it was taking a long time ago because I got so bored. Like, this is boring.
It's Ram V. He's good, but this is pretentious Ram V.
I picked up issue 9 of Wonder Woman.
Oh yeah, how is that?
All right. So I was reading it. I gave it a shot because I picked it up because I like the Stefan Seja cover. I'm at the point now where I'm just going to pick up isolated issues for the main thing if I like the cover. So I'm cover buying it. So I was going through it. I actually read it and I was like, they had me up until the point where Diana says, "Oh, Steve, I ate a rat and I think I liked it." What? I'm like, or when Diana and Steve are reminiscing about when they were chasing terrorists and then they stopped to make out.
To be fair though, this is if I remember, isn't this the lasso of lies filling her head with this stuff?
No, they broke the lasso of lies in the previous issue.
Oh, right.
They did.
Right.
So I'm like,
well, it still seems like
because Robert, that would be a cool story if it was just a lasso of lies, but no, she's hanging out in a prison cell.
Wait, Wait, but I thought she broke out of prison cell.
That's the confusing part, because in the literally the previous. Well, first off, here's the way this goes. You ready? And I was talking to Comicstorian about this when I had him on. R.I.P. R.I.P. brother. But
Yeah,
I was having he and I talked about this, and he and I agreed that the problem with it is that you go from so rewind. You had she has that epic battle with all of her rogues in Washington, because that was cool.
That was cool.
Then they stop. Mall date with Superman. And then back, she's captured. Then she breaks the lasso. Then she's captured again.
I just realized something. What if all that, the breaking the lasso, was part of the lies?
It's possible. I think
like she's still in the lasso of lies?
Because what better way to keep her under wraps than making her think she escaped?
But Robert, in the previous issue where she's still in issue 9 when she's still in the cell, they should show her still wrapped in the lasso. They didn't, because it's from the Sovereign's perspective at this point.
I know, and I'm saying no. So she did. No, I'm saying what we saw in 9, her breaking it, didn't happen.
So it's all a dream in her head.
It's all in her head, thinking she broke the lasso.
But why isn't it in this month's issue when we see her? Because we're seeing her from the Sovereign's perspective.
Well,
the Sovereign, when he's narrating it to we now know is Trinity, she says she broke the lasso.
Oh, wait, well, here's the other thing, though. Well, here's the other thing. This was all set up earlier. Remember, he doesn't need to keep the lasso on to have the effect last. Remember that. He did that to the other men where he did that, and they kept going even beyond. That's why a lot of them are acting under his orders. So for all we know is the damage was already done even when she broke it. Like she had a brief moment of control. Plus, it could be feedback. From
here's the other thing. It's like, here's the other thing. It was established with like the rules of this universe that when you break the lasso, the effects wear off.
Well, that's just for the lasso of truths. We have no idea still how the lasso of lies work.
Well, here's the thing.
You finished?
But from King has to communicate that.
Well, he probably will after this. He's probably
if he does, I'll take it back. But so far, it's just a lot of lazy storytelling in my opinion.
It could be. I would say very quickly. He could be playing with our expectations.
I also have a question. Wait. So there's a trainee we're talking to Solving the entire time. What is this a thing? I don't remember having I'm confused now.
He did that. The whole point of the lasso of lies is that it feeds lies into you. Rather than pulling the truth out of you, it inserts lies into you.
No, I get that part.
Wait, so what you're telling me... Wait, Robert. So what you're telling me is that her whole saying "I love you" to Steve Trevor could be all lies?
Could depend. We don't know how. We don't know how much the lies go. It could just be the fact of giving her that reality. Doesn't mean that her saying "I love you" is a lie. But
she said it to fake Steve. That's the thing.
But she doesn't know it's fake Steve. She thinks it's real Steve.
No, she does in this issue. She calls him a figment of her imagination.
Okay, fair enough. But again, But you never. But Jared, come on. You know, in situations like that, sometimes the person is still saying what they mean, even if it's to a fake.
Yeah, that is part of a psychological standpoint. But speaking of psychological, training. If training's not going to solve it the entire time, solve it in the future, then is that real in our head?
It's heavier. Here's what I think is going on. There's a reason why they put Trinity in the future, and there's a reason why I get the history. I get the feeling they're going to keep her in the future. In other words, she'll be like, down the line, she'll show up, but we'll never get there.
I think they're going to pull a JSA Huntress.
So where she comes in from another reality?
No, I'm talking about what Jeff Johns did, where she's from what was supposed to be the future, but in coming to the present, changed it, and now she's stuck here.
Assuming she travels to the present, because as far as you know, she's just in the present.
That sounds like you don't have him tell all this stuff. Everything here is being told in reverse without her going back in time to change it.
Well,
what would be the end goal be?
Here's my counter, Robert. It could be that they thought they were going to have a larger story, but then all of a sudden, because let's face it, the reception to Trinity hasn't been as good as DC thought it was.
We've only seen it. People have been liking the backup stories.
Well, the backup stories are different because it's just, you can argue it's just because people want more Super Sons in the
And to
backup
be fair,
stories.
and that though, we haven't seen much with Trinity. That's the thing.
Yeah,
Most of the stuff.
But what we've seen of her, people hate. That's the thing.
DC's not okay. DC's knee-jerk reaction, but they usually do it if the character's actually been around, that been utilized that much.
Don't be so sure, Robert. Don't be so sure. This is DC we're talking about.
Yes, this is DC, but they've gotten a bit better at the knee-jerk reaction compared to, oh, Bart's not doing well, let's kill him off, and then bring in bring back Wally.
Yeah, and Nick, Trinity is Wonder Woman's adopted daughter.
Yeah.
But my point is, I get the feeling that they're gonna start telling him to wrap this up, or like we're approaching the end. Because let me put it this way: if she doesn't end the Sovereign's story arc before Absolute Power, I'm gonna be a little pissed because I'm gonna be like, if she's in Absolute Power, where's the Sovereign?
That's my question.
But look, Jared, I know you don't care for it. I know a lot of people don't, but we got to still wait and see. Again, there's a lot to assume that they can have them wrap it up, but unless we have insiders telling us this, we don't know.
We don't know what's gonna happen after Power.
More on that later. But anyway, in terms of Marvel, I have to move on. So it's only a tangent.
Yep.
In terms of like Marvel, I'm reading Ultimate Spider-Man, obviously. I read Ultimate Universe, which I'm enjoying very much. Iron Man's pretty solid. Avengers is pretty fun.
Mm-hmm.
That vampire event is bloody as hell, but I'm liking the blood thing. But I'm like, But in terms of, I read Yaira, which is actually pretty decent.
Yeah.
In terms of Spawn, I'm reading King Spawn, and Scorch, which I love.
Scorch is awesome.
My problem with Justice League versus Godzilla, by going to that, is that it wrapped up way too fast.
It did.
They needed one more issue.
They definitely needed one more.
But I would say this stuff. But I will say this: Marvel-wise, for me, it's Captain America and Thor and Incredible Hulk.
Nice by PKJ.
What? Yep. Don't get any.
Of course.
Yep.
The dude's awesome.
He did say, even though he's coming off of War Journal, he's still doing stuff for DC.
That's cool.
Which, yes, thank you. Go ahead, Tavia.
Yeah, speaking of Marvel, I'm reading Ultimate Spider-Man. My favorite book to come out this coming out. Ultimate Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we know why. We know why, Tavia.
Yeah, obviously. But another book I'm reading, I think, coming out is Open Black Panther. I love that book. That book is good. It's not so Ultimate Spider-Man, but Open Black Panther is pretty good. Ultimate X-Men. It's so boring and not
and Peach Momoko's great at covers, not that great at interiors.
Yeah, that guy writing. I'll admit that she's not good at writing at this point. It was sad. It had potential.
By the way, Davis, I just realized something I got to remind you about. You do realize because he gained his powers after the kids were born, we're never going to see a Spider Girl.
True, but they ate a loophole. I got symbiote, baby. Maybe we could do it with Venom stuff.
Yeah, but she's still a little girl, dude.
We kind of did with Venom before at the end of.
Oh, renew your vows. I know, but
renew your vows. Here's the problem with using renew your vows as an option. It's a Elseworld story, different rules apply.
He's using it as a comparison, but again, I don't think that's gonna happen.
John Jones, my dude, the only daughter Diana should have is with Clark.
Yeah.
All right. You know what, dude? You deserve this, my good man. You deserve this. Where is this? I have a very special clip I play on these occasions.
Oh, man.
There you
My
go.
man.
There you go. You deserve that, John. But but you know what's actually really fun? I picked up the first issue of the Spider-Gwen relaunch.
Oh yeah, we're going 2.6.
I'm enjoying it. It's pretty good. So I'll keep up with that.
Can I tell you one run that has been both interesting and yet completely makes what was left before the run in the prior run simple and made it way too complicated. Al Ewing's Venom.
Oh yeah,
I haven't read Venom. I haven't read Venom.
It is so what is the point?
What's going on? What is happening? Why Valentine's Day?
The only complete Venom one I read was the Kate's run, and I was like, I'm done.
I love it. Amazing.
Al Ewing's Immortal Hulk and Immortal Sword. Immortal Sword's been so good with the pot shots at at synchronizing with the MC synergy with the
Yeah.
MCU. I love that. I love that. I was like, oh, he should be thinking these big bombastic stuff that you hear from the MCU. And yet it's like, why am I thinking this? Why do I want to say this?
In terms of image, besides Spawn, Transformers, amazing.
Transformers, that fucking amazing.
Duke, G.I. Joe, Real American Hero by Hama, loving that.
Ghost Machine.
So for Ghost Machine, Rourke Exodus is my favorite so far. I gotta say, I freaking love Rourke. Because it's Jason Fabok is like, he's up there with Jim Lee as my favorite comic book artist of all time. And I have missed seeing his stuff. I have missed it.
Ooh.
I gotta say, is it just me or is he and Fabok and Gary Frank very similar? Not identical, but similar.
I like Fabok's faces more because here's the thing about Gary Frank, and I do enjoy his art. A lot of his characters look really old.
How old? Like,
I just like Gary Frank is becoming a bit more Dave Gibbons-y. Have you noticed that?
A little bit.
Is that bad or good? I'm confused.
What?
Is that bad or good?
It's not bad. Because a lot of
okay.
characters
Let me
will
put
be
it
on the
that way.
older side. But I would say Red Coat, after all of this build-up, it's
I like
not
Red
what I
Coat.
expected.
I
I like it,
never
but
knew
it's
Red
not
Coat.
what I was expecting, is what I mean.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah. How about you, Tevye?
Speaking about I think besides Marvel, I think another I've been reading, I think was another indie book called, I forget the name of it, but yeah. Uncanny Valley. Uncanny Valley is such a
Heard of
great
that.
indie book. It's such a great story. It's interesting. Yeah, it does the whole video kid as you really hear the know. The twist that is about a cartoon that they're alive. Yeah, it tries to bring all the love it, but the story is actually very interesting. I think the first two issues are both great. I am super excited after that series. I can't wait. But I don't know about reading Spawn. I've been reading right now, but it's kind of confusing. Like, wait, so you're telling me Spawn watched Paladin to make a deal with Nyx, the character I know who this was, but now Wanda.
Spawn's been confusing for years. Who are you guys kidding? Spawn has always been so confusing. They've always had to reshuffle, redo big, revamp storyline stuff.
They always do that. That's kind of the thing with Spawn.
Spawn is worse at doing that than DC is.
True. But we look at Spawn. Every Spawn got the story kept going forward. The whole not Wanda. The whole the daughter star Cheyenne, I think. Cheyenne. That story that they should call it the story. Scored did a great book. I like that team. That team's awesome. But my favorite indie book in the Transformers. I love this comic. This comic is insane.
Where Optimus has Megatron's arm. I'm like,
that was so cool.
Quick, by the way, did you guys remember that Bat Family special that happened on Amazon? Turns out they're going to be doing a spin-off series.
A spin-off series?
Remember that was Batman with I guess his version of Damien as Batboy or whatever that was. With Wrinkly Alfred.
I forgot that was a thing. I thought my memory.
It was a weird, but had a lot of heart.
Interesting.
Yeah, I did hear about that.
Before we move on, there's one more DC book that I wanted to shout out, and that was Batman the Brave and the Bold this month, because I love the Artemis story that was included in this. It was really cool because you would wonder, because to King's credit, he is including a lot of important characters to Wonder Woman, and I'm like, where's Artemis? This explains it, so I'm appreciating that.
Well, to be fair, Artemis was already left in a precarious position back during the
Red Hood.
The previous run. So yeah.
There's one more book I do a shout out.
Yeah, go ahead.
Ultimate is a great team book.
Ultimates? Okay.
Yeah, the new one.
I've heard it's good.
Issue 1 not this week, I did last week, but it was a great book, and the team building of the story is actually great. Yeah, it doesn't react to the Ultimate team, but here to know. This open team is far better than the old.
I love the team they have set up. Sif and Thor, and I'm like,
yeah, that's so cool.
Okay, that's good. So they're basically making a Justice League. I see what they're doing there.
It's so cool. I love it. And unlike the other book with X-Men, because X-Men right now is such a mess.
We've gone over X-Men.
Yeah. Well, no, not Ultimate X-Men. I'm talking about the main X-Men book.
Oh, the main X-Men book. Okay.
Well, let's give it some time to get started.
Because let's put it this way, it's kind of going away from like a lot. It's gonna take a while to establish what the new status quo is.
Yeah.
So it's bad.
But-
Especially once they're starting up right in the middle of Blood Hunt.
Yeah, that did not give me hope.
Yeah, that's
Why?
gonna
I gotta
really.
say, I'm starting to wonder if Blood Hunt was done to kill off Blade and replace him with his daughter because that was their plan for the movie.
Yeah,
Probably is. If that movie comes out, but
Oh yeah, but that tells you. I think they really thought the movie was gonna be more locked in when they came up with Blood Hunt.
Yep.
All right. So our first topic, as voted by you, is that we lost a Titan this week. We got news on Monday that Benny Potter, the Comicstorian, passed away, and we're not going to get into cause of death because that's between him.
Yeah. I've been trying to avoid it. I've been trying to avoid it.
I saw it, but I
saw it too.
I did too. But I get why they didn't want to say anything, and I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say.
I'm trying to keep my lips shut on that because that is.
But the thing is,
they're keeping their mouth shut for a reason because it would raise so many talking points you don't want to bring up. So.
Yeah, it's a can of worms.
So, but the thing is like when you look back on Comicstorian's legacy as a content creator, it's let me put it this way, and you know what? Your boy Zach actually summarized it perfectly. He said that Comicstorian did more for comics than Comicsgate ever did.
Yeah,
exactly.
That is true.
Because it was kind of funny. Focusing on the positives and not covering the stuff you hate.
That's what CG was originally started as. That's what it originally started as.
It should have been like that because even what was eye-opening about that your boy Zach video is when he said, "Have I caused more damage than I ever intended with this?" Yes, you have. But thank you. But yeah,
but I would say this though. Out of all of the people, this is coming from a guy who was when he paid attention during the early days, wasn't part of it, but watched it from the outside. Yellow Flash did more harm than good because he was the one who kicked off the whole "let's be dicks" to the creators.
He did? That was him?
Right, with that was
But anyway,
I know about this.
but the thing is, it's like what's interesting about Benny is that when you're looking at the public response to what happened, it's like it's absolutely incredible seeing how many lives he touched. Plus, it's when DC themselves comment on it, and which they have, and I'm like,
I just see that.
And I'll say this: when you have even CG keeping their mouth shut because they've had issues, because out of respect, like even they're like, we ain't touching that camera. I only seen one person be a dick. Is that right?
It's
fine, dude. But you know, it's kind of funny. I didn't know this.
And I don't mean what was on Tristan's on the comment. I'm talking about on Twitter. Only one guy, and he regretted it.
Yeah, what's really interesting, Nogi, what's really interesting about this is with Comicstorian is that I didn't know this. He was the first channel to have EVS on after EVS was blackballed because he had no vendetta against CG. He was like, you know what? I'm going to do this as a good comic book creator. I'm going to do this because EVS is a good artist and we want to talk about
it. I did that. Not as soon as he did, but I did. It's unlisted, mostly because I don't want to get some of the people I get on to be ticked off and all that. But I would say this though, and at least Benny didn't make a public spectacle disavowing EVS. He just I'm just not going to talk about him.
Well, actually, I remember him and Sal talking about what happened to EVS on Absolute Comics, and they said, he got a bum deal. And I'm like, okay.
To a point, but from my
they never excused obviously what happened with EVS afterwards. They were just saying
I'm talking about why he got let go. It's a lot on him.
It's a lot of, but the point is, it's like when you see, because the thing about Benny and even me, because I only knew him for like a couple of days to a week.
Yeah.
The thing about it is that you could definitely tell that, he didn't care about any of that stuff. He was just there to have fun.
Which that was the other thing that impressed me about him. Look at how many of there's other YouTubers or comic, e-celebs out there who, I hate to say it, are the ones who lean more towards the progressive side and make it proud about it. Whereas Benny, even if he had certain viewpoints, would never focus on it. He'll be like,
Yeah.
I'm here for the comics. I'm here to
Yeah.
talk about good stuff.
Yeah, and that's why I
Exactly,
love him so
and
much.
And the reason why he didn't focus on the woke stuff is because he's like, that word's been overused. If it's badly
Yeah,
written, it's
absolutely.
badly written. I'm not going to talk about it.
Exactly.
It's badly written.
Yeah,
There
bad
you go.
written.
And
Bad
that's the
writing.
he was the one willing to call it out if it was bad. He wasn't one of those who was like,
He's not a
he
shill.
wasn't
He
one of those who's
never
gonna be-
was.
yeah, he wasn't a shill. He wasn't
You
a
want to
shill.
show? You didn't show any of the
Oh,
company.
it's still good. Look at this. We're putting these great characters and so diverse.
Yeah, that's BS.
Yeah,
No.
He never did that. He never did that.
Yeah.
What he would normally say, he took the even-handed approach where he was like, yeah, I could see why this character, someone would want to be represented in terms of this character, but it's just in terms of like he would go, it's not being well done. It's like even he critiqued John. He's like, no, you could write John well as an adult. It's just he's not being written well.
And I kind of realized from what little I watched this, he's a lot like me in that regard when it comes to being the fair even-handedness. And I wish I ever had a chance to actually talk to him.
And the thing about, and then I'll let you talk in a second. Just one thing I want to say is that the thing that really impressed me about Benny, and I said this on the Nerdette stream in the comments, is that I only knew him for a couple of days, but when we were actually talking on the interview, he treated it like we had known each other for like 10 years.
Yeah, I just saw that.
And it honestly, like, really, really, really impressed me. And I am completely like, I'm grateful for even the short time I got with him, because you could immediately see the dude was like, there's a difference between, like we said, being a shill and just loving comics.
Yes.
He loved comics. He 100% loved it.
And I'll say,
the industry.
can I give my story when we get to it because mine's shorter?
Wait, Tevia was waiting for a while. Go ahead, Tevia.
Go ahead.
Yeah, my story about Comicstorian. I remember 2014, years ago, it was like that ago, and my channel was still more blue reviews. I didn't do comic review until I think 2014 or 14. I don't remember my year. And I remember I had to do the live stream a year ago, and that guy, nice guy. In fact, as you said before we start the stream, he had to give me a copy of this. Like, I'm trying to show the sign thing.
Yeah.
Right here.
Oh, cool.
Lean it in. I can't read. I want to read what it says.
Okay.
You're not leaning it at the camera, right?
Let's see it. And Tevia, this is the time where it's appropriate to show a Super Son thing.
Okay, on. Faster than a speeding bullet.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, Comicstorian got me at the Comic-Con. I went in there.
That's a dude. That is a dude.
It made me happy. It made me smile. Like, and it got me joy because I was so happy because I love Tomas. I love work, and the fact he did to me made me so happy and smile because it's one of the best things I did in my life. Like, thank Comicstorian. And damn it, it makes me even more sad he's gone because I miss him. Dang it, because
we all do, Tevia, trust me. When I found out, I was like, I was at my home gym and I just sat there for an hour. I was like, what am I going to know?
Yeah, I find I do my own live stream. I think I'll play live alone.
Go ahead, Robert, your story.
Between the three of us, I've had the least involvement, the least interaction, all that stuff with him. But because I'll be honest, the whole idea of the reading the books initially didn't, appeal to me at first. But as time went on, and especially it was more out of necessity when I started watching him. When I would need to do summaries of certain things, like just recently, when I went over Superman Lost for Pro Teachers Noob, I watched his stuff to get a good summary of it because I've read it all the way through, but I didn't have enough, fresh in my head to go over it.
Yeah.
So I rewatched it, got myself prepped up for it. And as it went on, I started realizing, and especially once he left, I've realized he's been a bit of an influencer when I started more reading out my comics, Pro Teachers Noob. Because when I started out, I didn't always read it. I just described it.
And the other thing, too, what really struck me is how many people are saying, I couldn't afford comics, but because of him, I was able to keep track of what was going on with these characters. Quite frankly, amazing. And Teladia has been a member for 9 months. Thank you, dude. And
Yeah.
And by the way, I'm going to briefly summarize mine because I'm going to go into more detail tomorrow for CLD when we do a full-on stream. But so
You
I got
bring it up on my 400s if you make it, because
Sure.
I mean I'm going to do some time to. I'm going to open up. I'm dedicating my 400s to the Betty.
Comicstorian. Yeah.
But
I'm dedicating it, so we're going to open with anyone being able to give their thoughts.
Yeah.
I got into comics in 2020 and
Mhm.
really, I obviously gained a comic because I left in 2016 when Rebirth started. I've gotten into the story before. I'm not gonna bog it down. You guys know why.
Yep.
But
Right.
between Rebirth, it's about 4 years of a break, and as we all know, a lot of crap happens in comics in 4 years.
Yeah.
So I used to I like marathoned him and Rob's stuff like for the longest time to like get on there. And watching comics experiment, that's kind of where I got the idea for a lot of the podcasts I do. In fact, I learned from him because he was doing a podcast with Sal, and they were talking about like
the
search engine stuff. No, this was after the weekly poll.
Oh.
And they said, you know, if you're making a channel and you want to like appeal to comic book people, put comics in your channel's name, because previously my channel's name was Under Two Caves, my main podcast, because that was all I was using it for. So then I decided I'll just call it Comics League, and there you go. That helped, and obviously here I am.
Yep.
Boy,
But
I should then rename my channel with Zombie Comics.
It's working
Yeah, I
for
should've done that
you,
years
bro.
ago.
But the thing about it is, when I sent him that DM asking to come on, honestly, I expected him, first off, I expected him not to answer, because it's like he's a busy guy with like all of with the as like as like large, as big as he was, it was like, yeah, he's not going to answer. He answered 2 hours later and said, yeah, I just cleared up some time, I'd love to do it. So I was like,
ooh, and that's the other thing, he cleared up time.
Yeah,
he had recently cleared up time unbeknownst to me, and I was like, well, this is fate. So I did it. But here's the thing. We were supposed to do it a week before we actually did the interview, but he had some meetings he couldn't get out of. And yeah, we could have done the interview in like 30 minutes to an hour, but he basically said he didn't want to shortchange me.
Yeah, and I respect that a lot.
So we did it next week, and it's talking, and the other and the talking to him, it was first off starstruck because it's it's for freaking Comicstorian. I was like, because I'm still in disbelief that happened.
Same.
And because I just passed 1K. First off, I got, and the other part that was surreal is getting a congratulations from him. So I was like,
that made me happy.
What is going on? And then it ended, hey, what's up, Rob? And just saw your DM. Oh, thank you. But so just then what really struck me is that, so I invited him on again. He said, yeah, man, just hit me up. So that was when I was like, wow. So that's really who he is. That's really cool. And yeah, obviously I left it there. I sent him a DM saying thanks for coming on stuff. Then I found out on Monday, and honestly, it was rough because even though I only knew him for a couple of days, again, he makes you feel like he's been your friend for like a decade.
Yeah,
I can only imagine how Rob feels. I watched his video, and I was raw, dude. That was 100% raw.
You want to know what channel got me in? Pointed me in the direction of Comicstorian. You guys ever heard of Cape Joel?
Yeah, I know him. I know him from Wiki days.
Yeah, great guy, great YouTube channel. That was the one that got then pointing me in the direction because he's had Benny on, and I'm just like, oh, this is a nice guy.
Yep. I knew I did from the.
Like I said, it was the audio comic format didn't wow me because I'm like, I'm already reading them. But I respect what he did, though. I still respect what he was doing.
Yeah.
And the only thing that, and despite the one thing that I will always be thankful for is, even though it was one interview, I got to, as soon as we got done with that interview, as soon as the cameras went off, I got to thank him for basically being the inspiration for this whole thing, for the effect his stuff has had on there, and you can tell he appreciated it. So it was, quite frankly, one of the most. It's one of the experiences, because I've had some pretty cool guests on this channel beforehand, but this is the one that I will cherish the most.
Yeah.
100%.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Having one of your influences on,
because now I've had him and Rob on, so the two that were like essential to helping me become the Lord of Comics. But anyway, so we have one more guy. Go ahead, Tavia.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% on that one. You're right, because that's a memory that I cherish forever, because I just had enjoyment for the great interview. I love that. And I've been knowing this guy for years from Twitch, and he recommended me on Twitter, and he did a shout out on one of the videos, Super Sun video. That makes me happy well. And it makes me sad I never got a chance to meet him in person, because I wanted to meet him so bad. I met Sal, that made me happy after 2022. But it just makes me so sad I never got to meet him in person. I wanted to be on a podcast so bad. It
happens, man. It happens.
It happens. Lord no, and I'm sure you would have gotten the opportunity, because if he came on the panel again, like with me, because I get the feeling he would have been on Comics League a few more times, and then we would have hung out, and then obviously I would have had you on at some point. Yeah. I know how much he meant to you, but before we move on, we have one more member joining us that's going to give his Comicstorian story. So, what's up?
Hi.
How you doing?
Hello.
How are you doing? I'm doing fine. What about you guys?
We're hanging in there. So what's your Comicstorian story, dude?
Yeah, about that. I don't have one. I did because I'm sorry. I am very sorry for that happening. But like, I'm very like in my space when it comes to the internet, right? So I like stay in my corner of the internet. I don't like to go to mainstream channels. So I didn't know much about Comicstorian, but I can see from the reaction that it's getting from people that it must have been a lot for you guys. So
it was. It broke my heart when PJ. I was crying.
Yeah. A lot of people had that.
I'm probably the least of them, but even I still recognize his importance still.
Yeah.
I
looked up.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna look up some of his content later.
You should. He made a lot of great stuff. In fact, I watched him like a little while ago before I bought the Heroes Reborn omnibus, because I wanted to see if the story was by Heroes Reborn. I mean the one where they improved Marvel by turning into DC. That's the way you improve Marvel. But anyway, I watched him for that, and then I immediately ordered the omnibus. A lot of the stuff on my shelf is stuff that I've heard him talk about, because again. He was one of those guys that wasn't a shill thing. He generally loved it. I knew if he was talking about it, he was enjoying it. He's partly why I stuck with Wonder Woman for so long, and because I was like, okay, you know what? He gets it. I'll give it a shot for Benny.
Yeah.
Granted, it didn't really hold up that well, but that's just Tom King's writing. There you go.
Yeah.
But you never know. And then one more member I wanted to bring on. Teladia couldn't make it, but he sent me some stuff he wanted me to read on air.
Okay.
Teladia says, my favorite Comicstorian memory is when he covered the new 52 Superman and read it on a video. It was awesome to hear him read it as if he were playing the role of Superman when doing the voiceover for the video. That's the thing about it, is like, it's straight up like Superman. Audio dramas. Yeah. There was, well, first off, yes. And see, what I've said for the longest time, whenever I encounter toxic people on the internet, is that these are only factional characters. You shouldn't like be so. You can take it seriously. You just should attack people on. But this is the one time where I'm gonna admit I may have been wrong. Is that Superman was real and his name was Batty Potter.
Yeah,
the dude was Superman. Let's face it, 110%, and there'll never be another one like him.
Was it more soundtrack? I keep having Natalie in wiping you on the I watch her stream, and
you can imagine what she's going through, what Hassan's going through, what
Dan going through,
Andy, what they're all going through. It's
yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see what happens with them. But Medina, thanks for showing up, dude. We'll see you around.
All right.
See you, man.
But anyway, so let's move on to more positive topics.
Yeah.
First off, R.I.P. Benny. You'll always be a part of Comics League, no matter what. I am grateful for the small amount of time you were in my life. 110 and like 20%, 110%. So continuing on, let's talk about some absolute power. So
I'll be honest,
Go ahead.
I am interested more and more about it, but I'm just like, it's only 4 issues?
Really? That short? I thought it'd be longer.
No, it was announced as 4 issues, which I'm like, well, at least it's getting over and done with, at least. At least it's not being overly stretched out, but yeah. No, I think they're double-sized issues, I'm pretty sure, so.
If that's the case, then that could be interesting. Does that mean they could find some stories to make it?
I'll be honest. Well, yes, it is like, oh, we're having Out of Brainiac leading right into it. Yes, that's true. But again, this idea of them losing their powers and having to make do and having, Nightwing being the leader makes sense. It makes sense because he is still, especially after the stuff with Failsafe, it's like, yeah, Batman is not in, it's like Infinite Crisis Batman. No one's trusting him.
But
yeah. Now, my whole thing on this is, first off, I like the character designs for the League. I like what they're doing. Yeah. Visually, it looks pretty cool. And Dan Moore on art, I'm like, yes.
Never do wrong. Can never do wrong.
He and like Sam Pear are like, I think the 2 biggest like artists at DC right now that are like drawing. Yes, Krakakakum. There you go.
Krakakakum. I love it.
Hey, Hero Mode says, I'm waiting for the Kanye lyric. What's one man to do with all that power? Yeah, exactly. But the interesting thing about absolute power I'm looking at is like, all right, the thing about it is I'm a little concerned with how long it's going, because I get what they're going for. Yeah, I know it's like short in terms of the individual issues that are supposed to advance the plot. The problem with that is that when you have that few issues for that long time, what that tells me is that it's going to be lots of months with nothing happening and then like a story advancing.
Nah, I don't think so. I think keeping it that short means that they're going to don't bore us, get to the chorus.
We'll see.
Yeah,
because again,
it's Mark Waid. It's Mark Waid, dude.
So
he can be long-winded at times.
World's Finest showing otherwise.
World's Finest said a great part of that book.
Yeah, we'll see. But all in all, it like put this way, at least it's a cool, unique idea. Strip the Justice League of their powers and see
they haven't done that since Genesis, which was stupid.
Wait, what? What Genesis? I know what
that was the John Byrne story where it turns out we find out, the source was the source itself was the literal source of the Green Lantern energy, the Speed Force. Any type of a special power came from the source.
What? That's a stupid idea. Who came up with that nonsense?
John Byrne, that's who. This is the same guy that wanted Superman to kiss that 14-year-old. So there you go.
You're focusing on that when that was just one panel and one issue.
Batman to marry his ancestor or like
No. Okay, first of all, she was centuries year old by that point.
No, it doesn't matter how old that is. It's still creepy, dude. Still creepy.
Yeah,
but anyway, go ahead, Tavia.
Speaking of absolute power, what make of people is on a time beginning of this thing? Because wait.
What's the question, Tavia?
Speaking of absolute power, the one thing that confused me about this event is some of the tie-ins. And one tie-in is the John Kent at the one shot. Yeah, I looked it up. It's legit. It's not at the content. When here's the thing about the story. This story says, and I quote on John, that it's going to delve into John's past again and do the Ultraman stuff again. Problem with that idea is that we did this before we invented John Kent. Guess how that turned out?
Actually, Tavia, that was when they said going in the past. That case was literally confronting a person from his past in Ultraman. I'm pretty sure what they're saying is they're going to finally.
Oh, we'll see. We'll see.
I'm just saying theoretically. theoretically, I think they're going to have him finally confront his mental trauma.
But we did it before, actually with with Tom Taylor nonsense. That went nowhere.
Not really. Tom Taylor didn't really deal with his past trauma besides confronting Ultraman. Aside from that, he never had John really truly confront his trauma. And Philip K. Johnson came a little close with dealing with how he felt about the Legion talking past about about Superman. But other than that, though, no one has truly. Well, again, Peter Tomasi did in that Super Son special.
Yeah, that special.
But even then was only a little bit. No one has truly dealt with the trauma, and I think that's possibly where they're going with when they say they're dealing with his past is his trauma.
Yeah, like that. It's reminding Nicole Meade and Cena Grace, which is the one.
Now, Cena Grace is shown to be good when you have a leash on him.
Yeah, that would be a lot. I don't trust.
Yeah, we're talking about it right now, Brown.
Yeah, I don't trust that one at all. That would be a red flag.
Hey, his Miles Morales wasn't that bad.
Hey, Mama, we'll good. I'll give it that. But other stuff, it's just so frustrating.
No, I get that. But again, you put a leash on him, it can bring out good. And DC's pretty good at putting leashes on their creators.
I certainly hope so.
We'll see, but the thing is, yeah, go ahead, dude.
Yeah, but besides that book, I'm gonna keep my eye on that book 100%. I've watched it, but I've heard other like Absolute Power Origins with the whole Man of War stuff.
Oh, Ridley
again. Why is Man of War going down this crazy like butcher route? This makes no sense.
It makes perfect sense, dude. This is pretty much what Waller has been wanting to do, but she never had the resources to do it. Never. She's never had the resources. Even when she did Earth 3 stuff, that was still using the limited resources she had available to her. This is her, with all the resources she has, finally coming through. Because when you look at how Waller has been, this is exactly who she is.
To take down a superhero one by one and use her as weapons.
Yes.
She is the type to do that. I'll give Robert that. She is the type to do that.
She is the type who's always told the heroes, why should we trust you? Why should we trust you when you could just as easily turn on us? She has always done that since like at least the past few decades. So why you're confused? I don't know. I don't get.
He's having her go overboard. He's trying to have her go
overboard.
Like, whoa,
this is fully realizing.
Yeah. Okay. Let me rephrase that. Basic and John with Waller, like I never see it coming, but she's going so super villain crazy. Not in her eyes. Not in her eyes. No. But everybody else, yeah, she's a full psycho. She's insane.
I wouldn't say she's gone full psycho.
No, she hasn't. I think it's more like I think she's always had this plan in the back of her head, and she's like, oh, I'm recognizing an opportunity where essentially where I could
all
take
the ducks
over.
are in a row. All of her ducks are in a row.
Yeah, so I'm fine with that. I'm kind of
if you want to connect Trigon.
I'm interested. I'm interested. Let me put it this way. I'm going to give this event a chance. It looks actually pretty cool. And again, I like the idea of the Justice League not having their powers because that's something
that could be interesting.
Like we said before, has not been done in a very, very, very DC is doing something that I've been telling them to do ever since I started my channel. Try new crap.
And this is new, especially again the last two times I can think of were Genesis and Act of God as an Elseworld, which was utter crap.
As a Super Wonder fan, we talked about that on the Super Wonder show. Even Britt and I were like, "Yeah, the story sucks."
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, why is she on Wall Street? Why is she praying?
Why is Diana in a Christian church when she can pray to her
God?
God?
Even you acknowledge Lois was way out of character because it's like she married Clark. Not Superman. Why is she saying like I never loved the man when we're like that's not what she ever was?
Also to make it 10 times worse, they make every turn was a Batman. Like
everyone is like Batman the old. Yeah,
Brown has a good idea. Wait, Brown has a great idea on what we can do. Let's. I'm gonna pull up a graphic of the Absolute Power costumes and let's rate them. So I'm gonna do that.
Right.
That's a fun idea. Absolute power. My favorite so far is the Wonder Woman one. No surprise
course.
there.
So cool. I love that.
Yeah, I mean, it looks. I like when they give her like Viking-inspired armor.
Oh yeah.
Hey.
Speaking of Wonder Woman, now remind me, did you read that Wonder Woman one with the Viking stuff? When she
I
went to
didn't.
the
I
party?
didn't. I heard that was bad.
Yeah, I read some of it. It's confusing. It made no sense. Like, what? Did it after death metal? She go to Viking land? What?
All right, here we go. All right, so here are
I
the
get
costumes
it.
for the League. Which and yeah, Galen brings up a good point. Now the League is the common man. Yeah, they can't rely too much on their powers because obviously it's like a lot of the stuff could be solved with Superman. So first we have the Wonder Woman costume. I'm sorry,
That's so badass. I love that suit.
I like how it's all armored and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I'm digging this. This is cool.
Yeah,
Batman, we already saw. Batman was already introduced in 148.
Yeah, except you get a more clear look, and I like the obvious because one of the other things about Rebirth that I enjoyed was like the Batman costume, how it like had the yellow outline among the bat on the bat, and like I really dug that. Flash looks actually really interesting here.
Flash looks like Suicide Squad told the judges to be Flash from that video game. It's a weird thing about it with the mask.
Except the bottom half is not that. So
yeah, the bottom half is not that at all, but it does come out of that game.
It looks more like it still looks like he's wearing more of a bodysuit. And we have the black suit.
Black suit Superman. I love it.
Yes. As much as I like it, I love that seeing the black suit. It's been overdone lately.
Yeah, it's been overdone. It wasn't plugged.
Superman and Lois, the Snyder stuff.
Well, at least with the Snyder stuff, it was because he was coming back to life.
Yeah, but I'm saying in general, though, I'm not saying I'm sick of it. I'm just feeling like, can we get something else? I mean, even in no, it wasn't. Never mind. Dice Metal didn't have it.
Oh,
yeah, it didn't.
No, it was a normal suit. You just partially transformed by Darkseid, so never mind.
Well,
Martian Manhunter looks. I'm seeing a lot of people in the chat saying that they're not that big of a fan of Martian Manhunter.
It's all right.
Yeah, I'm not.
It's his alien look, so I'm like, yeah, that's fine.
Hal makes the most sense. It's basically
Hal is just what he was wearing underneath his Green Lantern garb. Aquaman. Okay, I really like Aquaman's like arm. Like gauntlet blades.
It's interesting. It's basically his armor over his usual outfit.
Yeah, I know. That's pretty cool.
That's not bad. I'm actually kind of digging it.
Didn't we agree with how doing stuff?
See, look. Issue 1 of 4. See?
Oh, you're right. It is 4 issues.
Huh.
I was wrong.
So the combined power of Failsafe and the Brainiac Queen have finally given Amanda Waller the ability to capture the powers. Oh,
I'm waiting to see what the personality of the Brainiac Queen is. Because when we first saw her, she was just monster, eat all the Zarians.
She's like a zombie, essentially.
All the people.
By the way,
I'm positive there's going to be more to her. But
can I say, I freaking love her reveal in that issue of Brainiac. That was scary, dude. I was like, well done, Williamson. Nice job.
Yeah, but at the same time, though, what's her personality now that she's fed?
We'll see. But I'm like, you have me intrigued. You have me very much intrigued.
Yeah. And now, just to make it clear, it's Failsafe, not Zur and R. Just to make this clear.
What's going on? Because
don't spoil it. Don't spoil it. But I'm just
don't spoil it, Tevia. Don't spoil it.
I know. I'm trying to keep spoiling.
I just wanted to put that emphasis. It's fail-safe.
Yeah, but speaking of fail-safe, I know. But I'm trying to get a minute. But what fail-safe idea with Wallet? Why would that robot team up with Wallet?
Okay, that I can't answer because Jared, you know this because it was in the other issues besides the recent one. Yeah. All of these failsafe robots are based off of Amazo robots.
That is true.
So if you're going to have the heroes lose their power, what better to keep them in check than the robots that are simulating their powers?
Mm-hmm.
With the minds of the other Zur and our Batman.
Oh, that's insane. That's a very genius idea. But
anyway, so going into like the Amazo robots that can that basically have taken the powers of the Justice League. See, this is cool. I like this kind of. It's kind of like taking the whole Terminator idea, but like warping it
with superpowers. But like, the Terminator had superpowers.
Now my
Leo is so
question
smart.
By
is,
the way, I want to say something to nickname. Milkman Soups wasn't Superman, though. Milkman was a
wasn't
completely
Superman.
different
No, that
character.
he
didn't
was
go together.
Milkman Man. But anyway,
Man. And
I just want to
And
correct that.
Wonder
I just
White.
want to correct that. He is not, well, he's an alternate Superman type, but
he's basically
Superman.
the Superman, but they undo all that. But all right.
Yeah.
Now, my thing is, with what I'm seeing about Absolute Power, here's where I'm kind of a little confused. Is this linking to like them launching the Absolute Universe?
no.
That's my question.
I'm positive it's just same name, nothing else, because there's nothing in this event that would. This is not a crisis event.
No, it's not. There's no
What
multiverse
if-
of whatsoever.
Okay, so here's my like headcanon on how they could if they wanted to. What if like the Flash gets his powers back and like the world's ending, he runs and like basically flashpoints it, doesn't reboot the universe at all. No. What he causes is like, you know how like Eobard explained that like with Flashpoint, he left like ripples in the timeline?
Yeah.
Except
What they could do here, hang on, let me finish. Just make it where there was a break in the timeline and now we have the absolute universe.
except two problems with that.
Okay.
One, Williamson already clarified how the version of time travel works.
Okay.
Turns out in that it's a case where the problem is trying to change history while time is still moving.
Okay.
Yeah, that could blow up in your
Now
face.
that's basically, so that's why when Eobard does it, he does it by doing it in between moments. That's the time when you can change history.
But
Okay.
speaking of absolute power,
But the second problem with that is that we already know the absolute universe. It's just going to be a separate universe. You don't need
Okay.
divergent time or anything. It's just
True.
going to be another part of the multiverse.
I was just
Yeah,
saying, I mean, it's kind of odd that they're calling it the absolute universe at the same time they're doing an absolute power.
They haven't officially called it that though. For all we
Oh,
know,
okay,
that
that's fine.
that could just be the fill-in name
Okay,
Yeah, who knows?
that's fine. But
or
all in all-
placeholder name. Sorry.
but let me put it this way, and then I'll get to you, Tevya. Both of this, the Ultimate Universe, I'm going to call it that for right now for ease of conversation. And this is the first time where DC really has me intrigued. Assuming they don't drop the ball. Let's assume they don't drop the ball with like the Ultimate Universe and don't like wreck it, and that this actually turns out really well.
Mhm.
This could be a major rebound for DC.
It could.
It could.
And they need it right now.
But it depends on how people react to the changes. I know I've already told you off screen. I'm not going to say it here.
No, do
one
not.
of the drastic changes, and that could have a major blowback. That could
But-
have a major
Yeah.
blowback.
Counterpoint, it's an alternate universe though, so people will be like,
yeah.
if I want a version of that character, if I want the classic version of that character, I'll just go to that book. But anyway, the one thing, yeah, go ahead.
I would say we've already seen how that's gone with some of the Black Label books.
Oh yeah, that
yeah.
blew up in your face.
Now-
And they bombed.
In terms of
Big
like a
bomb.
thing I referred to earlier, when I talked to Benny on the interview about that, because I was talking to him about like this and like Don DC, he said, so what he was under the impression that a lot of these Dawn of DC books were like 12-issue runs.
I remember him talking about that. That was towards the end.
I
of the
do
interview.
remember
Now, what
I
I'm
got
thinking
talking about
is that could be what they were, because if you notice, if they put Wonder Woman in range of the Sovereign, could they be maneuvering it so they can like wrap this up so they can get to absolute power?
Nope, because from what I understand, issue 10 or 11 is already going to lead into absolute power.
I think it's issue 11. It said issue 11 in the article.
Oh, issue 11, and I doubt they're going to wrap it in 10. So I think the absolute power is going to sideline Sovereign, and then they're going to pick up with it after absolute power is done.
Oh, that's annoying because that
Just end the damn run already. Just end it.
I know as much as you want to, dude, but again, until we see anything that indicates it, let's not assume. Do not, and this is something I've learned. This is something that I've learned and come to accept. Do not assume like what I want is going to happen. Do not think that your theories are going to lead to that.
Well,
don't dwell on it because that'll lead to disappointment.
I know what I was just doing is like, here are ways that it could happen. I fully do not expect it to, because let me put it this way: I've long said I'm used to being Yes, appointed by DC. I'm just saying here are some ways that they can do it.
Oh yeah.
Look this way, it's possible. That's all I'm saying. But go ahead, Tavia.
Yeah. Besides that, I do agree. I think it's a point DC. I do admit that. I get the also the Flash book right now. But besides that, I think I'm gonna do after power one damage right now. Besides that the stuff, I'm not sure the other two like why was Flash and his family because
Wait, what? What?
Where was Flash and his family?
No. Yes, I do. But here, what I am talking about after power is how the heck is Wall got back the Green Lantern with powers. How did she get back Wall with family powers? Because
dude, that's easy. You can just cut them off from the sources. They've done that before, plenty of times.
True.
And
but,
Tavia,
drain the Green Lantern ring and take the battery away from him.
They can do that. And Tavia, in terms of like the Flash family, the exact same way they depower Barry. It's not like it's anything different, but Wally has the same powers as Barry.
That's true, yes. But his family all got powers as well. They have different powers as well, which
I don't think Wally's gonna care about the family though.
No. Now she's she apparently killed Jay's mom, and we still haven't done any reaction to that. That's what bothered me. They have not done any reaction to Mrs. Nakamura's death.
Wait. When did this happen? Wait.
I told you before in the dream. The dream.
Oh yeah, dream book. My bad. I got that.
Yeah, because Bizarro freaked her out and she fell. And we never got not even any acknowledgement if she's dead or not.
Wow, that's dark, my big man. This ultimately the question I want me for other characters, like Jay Nakamura. Is she gonna be affected by absolute power as well? If that's the case, that's good for me.
They're not gonna kill him off in Atavia. No,
I know
they're not gonna do that. They're not gonna do that. Yeah, go ahead.
And I say they're not going to do that, and they're not going to DH John. I saw someone, not you, but someone on Redo comment saying like they should use this to DH him, and I'm like,
how? This isn't dealing with time travel and or the multiverse.
It is not a crisis event.
Yeah,
if it were a crisis, you would have more. Granted, not every crisis deals with that, but you would have more of a point there.
By the way, something I realized when a while back when Peek and I went over Dark Crisis. Funny thing about Dark Crisis, it's the most grounded of the crisis events.
Yeah, it is.
If you know, because it stayed on one Earth. Well, one Earth and then Multiverse 2.
Technically, so did Final Crisis.
Yeah,
Final Crisis wasn't.
Crisis.
Okay, Final Crisis had Crisis tacked on it by Dan DiDio. Let's be honest. That was not really a crisis event.
The way I see it, if it affects the multiverse, it's a crisis.
Yeah,
but sorry.
No, go ahead.
The only part that's not affecting the motivator is Identity Crisis.
No.
They only said that because that's what when they only put crisis on there for marketing. That's why.
Right. Okay. Question for both of you: if you were stuck on an island and you can only have Identity Crisis or Heroes in Crisis, what would you keep?
Heroes.
Identity.
I think Identity Crisis. Look,
part of it was the only character who truly got character assassinated was a stupid love interest who wasn't even really a love interest in years.
Oh yeah, the Adams was.
As bad as it was, some characters got killed off. It was still an intriguing story. Didn't have that much character derailment, just annoyances.
The reason why I say Heroes is because ignore, because I've long said, and this was my main point when I talked about Heroes on my, I did a small video talking about, if you separate it, if you treat it like an Elseworlds book and ignore what happened to Wally previously, it's because the basic idea of the story is actually very cool, and it's superheroes dealing with PTSD and all the trauma. Because Lord knows I've gone through traumatic crap in the past.
Identity Crisis still had a better mystery going on. It had a dumb resolution, granted, but still. And it took the idea of what we saw happen to Silver Age. Like, there was an event where this Legion of supervillains, League of Supervillains, swapped bodies. And they had the important question. And in the original comic, things were just perfectly fine. They didn't look. Of course, you're like, they would have looked.
The other thing is like, The other thing is like that event, Silver Age, it's actually referenced as the lead is like what motivated Batman to create his contingency
The
plan.
Queen, the whole.
Because
what eyes
once
got
he
in the
remembered what happened.
Now, I will say
Yeah.
though, the fun part of Identity Crisis is when Barry finds out they mind whammied Batman. It was Wally, and he goes, "You don't do that to Batman. We're all gonna die."
That was funny.
I know, but I gotta say, I loved how I still loved it. You see how they described them taking on Dr. Light. Then when Dr. Light showed the image, you see Batman there, but they don't focus on it until near the end when Wally calls Ollie out about it. It's like, when Dr. Light did that, Batman was there. But I love it how the reader, you're like, wait a second.
What was it?
Batman wasn't there beforehand.
But anyway,
Oh, but
yeah, go ahead, Tavia.
Yeah, but besides those two, another credit that Earthbound is 0 hour credit in time. Because that credit would Earthbound.
Don't bring up much about Zero and R since that still ties into one.
No, I didn't know. No, I didn't say. I said 0 hour.
He said 0
0
hours.
hours.
That
0
counts
hours.
because technically Hyper Time was their multiverse back then. That counts.
Hyper Time didn't come out until after 0 hours. That was the Kingdom.
That's true. The Kingdom when the sequel to Kingdom Come.
Well, wasn't
But
that like...
No. It was the
Zero
Kingdom,
Hour
which was years later. So Zero Hour just dealt purely with time, but Parallax did use the leftover energies from the Crisis.
That is true. Yes.
So that made it a sequel.
It is.
Basically, 0 Hour claimed that the original Crisis was so devastating, there were still ripples being felt from it.
Yeah.
Because if you remember, issue 12 of Crisis ended, you still had pre-Crisis Superman there. But eventually once things... No. Superboy Prime was in the other year. I said Earth 1, pre-Crisis Superman. But eventually things settled, and then the new origin came about. So basically, that's how it worked post-Crisis. So basically what they were saying 0 Hour was, there were still things that haven't settled yet, even in all those years.
That is true, yes.
But anyway, so that's honestly, all in all, I think Absolute Power is shaping up to be an interesting event. I'll be checking it out. Obviously, we'll be reviewing on the channel.
So they never mentioned it here. I didn't mind Beast World, to be honest, as an
event. It was interesting. There was an idea there.
It learned the mistakes from Lazarus Planet and Night Terror. Can we agree to that?
I agree with that.
Real quick.
All the hopes and dreams of Krypton live in you now.
Hey, what's up, Teladia? How you doing, brother?
I'm getting there. Slowly.
Yeah. But so what's up, dude?
Not much, what can I say, really? Absolute Power is like, I wasn't expecting that to be a mini series, to be honest with you.
Most crises kind of are, though.
No, but I thought it would be like what, an 8-issue series? Not
Thank God not. Thank God not.
Thank God. Can you imagine if they stretched it?
That would drive me crazy. Like what? 8 issues.
But what I find so baffling now is that there's clearly the accumulation of everything since Dark Crisis, and it's only 4 issues.
Yeah, seriously, that's short. Why?
Oh, by the way, I gotta say, did anyone ever here expect that the Light was going to be the Council of Brainiacs?
No, I didn't see them coming.
I called that comment. You know what's kind of funny? That then explains the Brainiac tentacles, because it's not literally, but it's like Brainiac has had his tentacles everywhere.
He was everywhere.
That kind of explains. But anyways, so Teladia, I wanted to get it since you came in here late, real quick. I wanted to actually have it from your eyes, your Comicstorian story. Go ahead.
Well, obviously, Comicstorian, reading the comics, obviously the New 52 specifically. That's what got me into Comicstorian, was like him voiceovering, doing the Superman voice, and I was just like, this guy should be Superman at this point, man. I'm just like,
well, he was, but I see what you're saying there.
Yeah, and the fact is that when he covered it, I learned a lot. I learned a lot about comics from him,
As we all did.
in terms of how to in terms of, let's say, what to go with, what to start with, if you're going to start in the comic book world, what to start reading specifically. And New 52 was my first introduction to basically to start off, and my starting point to be reading comics. comics, right?
Yep.
So New 52 was one of those things that I was just like, okay, if Benny says I should start off there, that's what I did. Because I didn't read Post Crisis or
Mhm.
Pre Crisis. I didn't read any of those. My first starting point was New 52. So
Me too. I used New 52 as an entry point. Then I read a lot of Post Crisis, some
yeah,
My
Pre Crisis, but mostly Post Crisis. But
mostly New 52. But
yeah.
I want to say also I appreciate Benny for what he did for the community.
Mhm.
And furthermore, like I know he knows a couple of my friends that are content
Yeah.
creators as well. So that was cool. Besides you, Jared, of course, the Comics
Yeah,
Lord.
Yeah.
The other thing I was thinking about is with Benny is that when you think about it, here's what the thing about him and his channel is that in a way the man has achieved immortality. Well, he'll always be because I've been binging a lot of his stuff, and obviously I'm going to watch a lot of his like full stories. But
Yeah.
as long as that channel still lives, he still lives. Really, when you think
Mhm.
about it.
Even him breaking up the story was a lot for me to digest,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which
does
made
was.
sense because when he broke it up, it was easier for me to understand and easier for me to kind of relapse everything. And when he did the full story, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense now. So, like, I'm eternally grateful for Comicstorian to basically for introducing me into comics basically properly.
Yeah, real quick, I'm going to go around. What was your first video of Comicstorian? Me, I can pinpoint. I know exactly what it was. It was the full story recap for the Injustice Wonder Woman origin.
Ooh.
Really?
That's where I found out her origin. And I was like, obviously not talking about him. I was like, this sucks. Not talking about
I know.
video. It's like, the hell is this?
Okay.
Even he was like, yeah, I understand. This kind of explains why she's evil, but what? But it was that. And then Comic Experiment was like the show that I watched the most because obviously I was really getting into podcasting. I was watching a lot of stuff to learn how they do it, how they talk, and all that stuff. So that was fun. How about you, Teladia? Was that first the Morrison Action Comics?
Yeah, it was Grant Morrison's Action Comics. That's what actually got me into Comicstorian. Like his thumbnail popped out compared to anybody else. And his intro was epic too. Like he had his intro was like the Dark Knight intro.
I seen that one.
I remember that one specifically because he used to play that at the beginning of every video. And funnily enough, like the one cool thing I could say about Comicstorian is just that he was very genuine, very kind. That's the best way to put it. He made time for people. So that is something I'll never forget. It's like because I used to take a look at some of it, used to look at the comment section, and I never used to write anything because I was a bit nervous to say anything in the comment section.
You should have seen me interviewing him. I was like, what do I do?
Yeah, I know, Jared. I know what it's like for you. You were lucky. So one of the lucky ones to get to interview him. So
But anyway, so Robert, how about you? What was your first Comicstorian video?
I just had to go look back through a bunch of them just to double check which it was, and I think mine was one of his Wolverine ones.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's Wolverine Origins 2 one.
Oh, okay, that's a good series. I like that one. All right, how about you, Tevia? Since you've known him, since you've been around him the longest.
Yeah. I think the first video I ever saw actually was Superior Spider-Man after the end of that story when you did your own plot video on it. And I agree with you saying, like, what? You're not answer. You're telling when Doc Ock and he gets away and people are going normal Spider-Man stuff. Like, you see a plot video on that video? Doing a plot video on it? I think I'm saying because you have to kidding me. Like, you're telling me that.
You know what's hilarious?
People are going but I honestly was awesome. I wrote on the X. Another favorite I'm here. I think what besides should be another thing. I think was no unit. The no unit videos were pure perfection. That's how I got to learn more about the unit from
So,
DC. Like,
you know what's hilarious? You know what's hilarious, Tevia? When I asked you what was your first video, I half expect you to say Super Sons. I'm proud of you for saying Superior Spider-Man.
Yeah, it was Superior Son, but I've been 2016 watching Mortal Kombat weekly poll.
There you go. That works.
But this before Super Son, even 2014, 2015 was combined
Okay.
stuff.
Mhm.
So my favorite video had the No Universe stuff with the Green Lantern stuff was pretty cool. The Warrior stuff with the Minion, all that stuff. But I think my favorite video here, besides Super Son, with the Super Universe stuff, I love that video. That made me so happy. Yeah, I'll be side by side with Come Explain. And we all agree that book is awesome. And I think I miss Comicstorian so much. He got me into comics, next to Green Car and his videos. And it makes me so sad. I never got to meet him in person. I'm sad he's gone. But anyway, he's immortal. And
our last topic of the evening is some of the characters from Creature Commandos are showing up in Superman, which we expected because he even said that like the animated characters are going to show up. So I mean, by the way,
this should approve it. Makes sense to prove it.
I'm going to say this. You guys all know I've been critical of Gunn.
Yeah.
I'll give him a pass because he did like comment on Comicstorian and everything like that. So you know what? Well done, sir. So this makes sense because let me this way. This gives me a little bit, even though it's Creature Commandos, but it shows me that at least right now they're kind of prioritizing making this universe feel like lived in and like the characters exist there.
That's why they were going to have all these other characters show up. It was just, I'm pretty sure most of them, like Guy and all that, are just going to be cameos to show this world is existed. It's existed.
But Gunn did say he'd never do cameos to set up other stuff.
Oh, no. I don't think that's a case of setting up other stuff. I do think they're going to have a purpose in the story. It'll just be a case of like, you can now that could still apply to something like asking Guy to use his ring to find something, scan something, get something. Yes, they might no longer grow up by cameo, but it'll still be important for the story. And basically, it's like comparing. I know this might get you guys riled up. The cameos, not counting Wonder Woman, but the Cyborg and Aquaman and Flash cameos in BVS. That was more setting up for the upcoming stuff more than it was being important for it, compared to saying, "Oh, could you use your ring to go get this?"
I still here the difference between the two is that one was one is that Gunn's already in an established universe, where the other one was getting started up. And I have admitted the BVS cameos would have been better if they were the post-credit scene of the movie.
But
the way it was handled is a glorified cameo that I'm pretty sure that's what Gunn is saying he's not going for. They're going to be a case where they're just there. Woo!
It's like, okay, at least he's making the universe feel like connected and all this stuff. Like what he has to be careful about. Here's my concern about it. And this is coming from the perspective of a general audience member, because obviously comic book fans, we don't care. We know who all these people are. The general audience, because I don't think everyone's going to see Creature Commandos, and all of a sudden these random characters are going to show up. They're going to be like, who the hell are they?
So that's why I don't think they're going to have a major part.
Yeah.
But still, I'm like, this is the danger, because this is why I think he should have at least gone for the cameos in Superman. It should have been more like recognizable superheroes like Batman and Wonder Woman. Here's why. Because then the audience is like, okay, I know who this is. I don't need to know. Why would Clark know this person? I
don't think he wants to have the absolute say over the casting of the main character that other directors are going to work on.
Yeah.
While yes, he'll be important in the casting of Batman, I think he wants to leave a lot of that also up to the director.
That's true.
Now, granted, the other problem with that, and then I'll get to you, Tevia, is that also you have to think about these actors. Assuming we get a Justice League movie, these actors are going to have chemistry and stuff, and you can't just do that if you're casting them all this. That's
positive. They're going to probably have what's his name doing Superman.
Corn Sweat.
Daniel, I forget his name.
Yeah, they're going to probably have him be part of the audition process. They're probably going to have him be part of the audition process to make sure that they're going to go in to make sure they have the chemistry together at the same time.
At the very least, just do that. They don't have to do that for every Justice Leaguer. Just do it at least for Wonder Woman and Batman, because those three are like the Trinity.
Yes.
They have to be
Yeah.
able to relate well together. I mean, it'd be nice if they could do it with like Flash, Hal, assuming they have Hal. Well, they are going to have Hal Jordan in this, but the point is, it'd be nice if you have it, but it's not as essential as Batman and Wonder Woman.
Yeah, those two
Yeah.
are the pinnacle of DC.
But anyway,
can I ask you one quick question, guys? Just
Sure.
very quick one.
and then I'll get to you, Tevia.
Now, what I'm about to bring up, I am not saying speaks for all the Snyder fans, but I have seen some people go about complaining about the Booster Gold stuff, saying like, "Oh, see, we're getting lame characters like Booster when we could be getting Batman." It's like, I'm sorry,
What?
and when you see something there, it's like, you guys know Booster's an awesome character, right?
Yeah,
That's your
like,
opinion, though. Here's the problem with that. It's like what they're saying is that from a general audience perspective, Booster Gold is lame.
Yeah.
Someone that's
yeah,
never read the
right.
comics, Booster's lame.
From what I understand, people liked him in Smallville when he appeared.
That was many years ago, dude. Still.
Okay, that's true, but I think that still shows that there's a potential people liking him. And when he will arrive and be introduced, so long as they don't go the whole, he will sell out his mother, his sister for a commercial. So long as they don't go that route, people will see how great of a character he is.
We'll see, though. I
Wait,
still
what?
don't think we're going to get to Booster, but we'll see. But anyway, so Tevi, you were patient. Go ahead.
Yeah, as far as Commandos, Superman, this just feels way too much overkill because this is worry me a lot because that ain't too much. It is getting way too overblown. To the point like, wait, why did these guys appear in Superman? I'm confused. This is a Superman movie, not a Creature Commando story. That's what is worrying about the movie. I am so worried getting so overstuffed.
But
Okay.
Tevia, again, they're not. It's not like they're the protagonists of the movie.
That's
Yeah.
it.
We
That's
don't
the thing,
know
it's still a
what their
Superman
role
movie.
is. We don't know how much role they're going to have. Probably, depending on which creatures they're going with, probably not a lot because they'll be CGI heavy.
The
Yeah,
one
that's what I
that the only one I'm 100% sure will show up is the Flag Senior, because he's going to show up in Peacemaker.
Yeah.
But
That's the only one I
yeah.
think is gonna show up, because it kind of have to establish him. But anyway, so Teladia, your thoughts on all this?
Well, my thoughts on James Gunn actually bringing Creature Commandos in. Well, obviously I gotta say I'm thinking maybe he knows what he's doing, maybe not, but at the same time, I think he's cramming too many things in one movie.
Yeah.
Like
Hmm?
because like you've got the Justice League already established in there, right? You've got like
No, we don't know. No, I don't think the Justice League are established.
Yes, they are. The Hall of Justice exists in this universe.
Okay, I didn't see that. Okay, so they are established. Wait, that makes even less sense what they're doing with the Authority.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah,
Justice
so-
League
yeah.
exists. He
The
confirmed
Justice
that
League
the Hall of Justice is Gunn himself. It said the Hall of
oh.
Justice is going to show up.
Wait, the Hall of Justice, but that could be the location of the Authority, not the Justice League, for all we know.
No, I believe he said
Authority.
the Justice League is in this movie.
I'll look it up.
Wait,
The Ju-
but
the-
the Authority are anti-heroes who kill people. How can they be a Hall of Justice if they're not heroes? They're more like kind of villains?
Unless they're going to build up. I thought this was going to be a case where the Authority already existed. Maybe it's going to be a case instead where the Authorities come about and become the threat.
Could
I
be.
can see that being the case.
Maybe.
This
because,
could
like,
lead to the creation of the Authority, like with what's rumored to happen to Superman, like intervening in countries. The U.S. government, maybe Amanda Waller, forms the Authority to counter Superman and metahumans. But anyway,
Yeah.
go
the Authority
ahead,
were
Tevia.
called Waller
I mean,
Storm,
Claudia.
and they were-
Go ahead.
oh.
Go ahead,
So
Teladia.
I was going to say that the thing is as well, even though the Justice League are established in this world,
They are.
I
Mhm.
think another thing too we got to take into consideration is the fact that James Gunn, yes, he wants to build a DC universe which everyone can enjoy,
Yeah.
but there's only so much you can do to basically make it into a Superman focused film.
Yeah.
Because if you remember, right, like this isn't BVS, which is a second movie. This is the very first movie of your DC film slate.
And when you think about it, the entire universe's continuation is really hinging on how well Superman does.
Yeah.
Like,
Now,
Yeah.
are we expecting a
No, no,
billion? No.
Like put it this way, it has to, in my mind, to continue, it has to make at least as much as Man of Steel.
So
Yeah.
$800
I
million,
say-
900.
No, 600.
600.
600,
BVS
yeah.
is the one that made it 800 million.
But
Oh,
I'll say
yeah.
this before passing over to Tevia.
Mhm.
I'm still open to the idea of James Gunn, right?
Yeah.
Doing a Superman film.
Mhm.
I'm prepared to give him a chance,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Because some people say, "Oh, I'm not going to give him a chance." You know what? I'm prepared to give James Gunn a chance because, you know what? We haven't had a Superman movie in over a decade, right?
Mhm.
That's a
At
long
At this
time.
point, I'll take it.
At
And,
this
and
point,
yeah,
I'll take it. Yeah.
assuming it's good, because yeah, if it's good, I'll be the first to tell you it's good. If
Yeah,
it's
for
bad, you better believe I'm going to be the first one to tell you why did they put him in charge of Superman. So, anyway, but Tavia, what do you want to say?
Yeah, I agree 100% and the other one because this seems way too overstuffed upon insanity, and that's what worried me about this movie. I am so scared that we're taking away from Superman and putting him on other characters because, like, it's like Tony said, we had a Superman movie in a decade, which is sad to me because why? Why is it so hard to get a Superman movie right? It's not that hard, it's easy. Like, Superman go pull at the 80 live action. Like, why can't we do it in
It
the
is
movie?
hard to do Superman though, right?
It is hard
kinda
to do them
difficult.
well. It is hard to do
Well-
it well. That's a big key word there, being well.
That is true, yes. But
And to do him justice
besides-
as well.
But like I said, though, I personally think I don't think we have much to worry about because I really don't think Gunn would be putting this much in there to overstuff it. When you look at some of the appearances he would have of characters throughout the entire Guardian trilogy, a number of those were usually setups for later things.
But none of them had the Justice League name. That's the difference. Because he may have a couple of like D listers on the C to D.
no.
I'll say
I get that.
let me finish. The thing about it is that when it's like, here's the thing, and yeah, he did bring in like minor characters there, but here's the thing: it's like, and this is a ding against the Superman movie. The reason why people gave because first, Superman movies have trouble with the general audience. That's in terms of being financial success. Because here's the thing: Superman is not as strong as a brand as he should be.
Yeah, I agree.
Particularly when like you compare him to like look at this way. I would be more confident if the first movie coming out for the DCU was Brave and the Bold, because Batman, people show up for a Batman movie.
Yeah,
but my point is, the thing is like here's why people showed up for Guardians. I'm not talking about why it like. What I'm talking about is people showed up because Marvel had all these successes and we're like, oh my gosh, it's just so cool. If that has that Marvel logo on there, it's going to be a good movie.
Yep.
DC has never had that, particularly with the previous year. And the general audience is not tracking reboots. This is canon. This is not canon. All they're seeing is the DC logo and flop after flop after flop after flop.
But I do think thanks to the Batman and Joker, people are going to be more open to the idea of something being different.
But again, Batman and Joker, there's a difference.
No. But I'm talking about those words. No one was thinking, oh, is Joker connected to this Batman? Wait, why isn't it Joaquin Phoenix? No one did that.
Well, because here's why. There was an already pre-established universe going on, so everyone knew that. Like, okay, I'm pretty sure that Ben Affleck that Robert Pattinson is not in the same universe as Ben Affleck, and I'm pretty sure that the Joker is not in the same continuity as Suicide Squad. I had to say Suicide Squad because there was no Jared Leto Joker.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. But
one more comment and then we'll wrap it up.
Okay. But here's the thing about the Joker movie. The Joker movie is an outward story, that, and one outward story. But at the same time, though, with the Superman movie, I'm just scared this may turn into a whole at the overstuffed movie that could crash and burn, and its story not gonna make any sense. I'm wrong. I won't be wrong with it. I want the movie to succeed. I want things to prove me wrong because at the same moment in time, I want a good Superman movie. We had a Superman movie in a decade. And yes, I am a Henry Cavill not in this movie. I don't know, but despite that setback, I am going to give the movie a chance. I'm hoping it's movie long. The whole movie is good. At the end of the day, I just want the movie a good DC movie. That's great.
David,
Yeah, we got.
can I give one bit of advice, Tavia? Just one little bit of advice. Don't dwell on the worst case scenario, what could have been, because that's what could get you into that. That's why I'm going into it thinking like I'm waiting for the trailers.
Well,
I'm waiting. I mean, was the suit lackluster? Yes, but I will say though, focusing on the fact that we're going to have Solaris as the villain piqued my interest.
We don't know yet if that's Solaris. Now, the other thing I'm going to bring up, one more thing about the suit thing is like, here's the thing. I do agree with you, Robert. That teaser has to, because yes, combined with the suit, with the lackluster suit reveal, the lackluster reception to it, if that let me put it this way, if that teaser is not well received, then I think we can be a little concerned. If the teaser is received well, and if they make the suit look great in that teaser, I would say, okay, we're in a better place than we were pre-teaser. So I would say, before you start going all doomsday, pun intended, wait until the teaser / trailer comes out, and then we can reevaluate.
And say what you will about Gunn, he's done great teasers at least.
That's true.
Yeah, we'll see. But anyways, so Teladia, you had one more point, and then we'll wrap up.
Yeah. So the final thing I'll say before we wrap up is that we'll see what the trailer looks like. We'll do a trailer reaction. I'm sure myself and Jared will do like a combined trailer reaction. I'm sure maybe. But I'll say this though, guys, make sure you do like the stream, share the stream with your friends, and let the people know that Jared is streaming on YouTube. So I'll say that much, right? Because he deserves as much, people to come and check him out, because he talks a lot of good comic book stuff. So if you're into that stuff, come and check him out.
Yeah. So in terms of so we're gonna wrap it up right now. And so the plan for tomorrow is that tomorrow's CLD is just going to be talking about Comicstorian, the gentleman and I. And what we'll do is we'll allow people to come in for like 5 minutes each, and then we'll give their Comicstorian stories. That'll be fun. Maybe we'll get to like the Watchmen animated movie trailer. I still haven't decided. We'll see. So as for me, tomorrow at 3:30 live, I'll be interviewing Gabe Hernandez from Comical Opinions. I'm excited for that.
Ooh.
And for movie night, we're going to be doing Justice League versus the Fatal Five. So there is that. I'm really excited for that. I love that movie.
May I talk about my big thing tomorrow?
Real quick, just let me.
Sorry. I was asking. Sorry.
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah. Everyone's gonna have their
Sorry.
And on Saturday night, Britt and I for Super Wonder Legacy are going to do a live Q&A. We can come on. You can ask us questions about anything Super Wonder or not related. So it's going to be fun to interact with you guys. And let's see. Yeah, that's about it. So, Robert, how about you go ahead?
Yeah, I got my big 400s tomorrow. 400s Lesson of Pro Teaches New, where we'll be covering Jonathan Hickman's Secret Warriors.
Oh, sweet. That's a good one.
Yep, a very good one. Hopefully you'll be able to join in, Jared, at least as we're going through it. Yep, I'm trying to, because I'm only trying to accommodate Pikachu because time difference. Boy, is that a bitch. Sorry.
It's all good.
That's okay.
But Teladia, how about you?
Well, you guys know that I'm going to be doing My Adventure with Superman episode 4 and 5 reaction. We're doing a double episode this week because I had to miss last week, unfortunately, due to circumstances. But myself and Jared will be reacting to that. And then not only that, guys, I'm going to be bringing back the Into the Multiverse podcast. That is going to be brought back, where myself and Jared, we're going to be talking about Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League situation. We're going to be talking about Arkham Shadow, and we're going to be talking about the fact of what James Gunn's Superman, the situation there with the suit set and everything in Ohio and stuff like that. We'll be having a topic of discussion there. So stay tuned for that. But that will definitely be happening over the next coming weeks. So, but yeah, thanks for Jared for allowing me to pop on.
Anytime. Tevia, how about you?
For me and Jordy, I used to be like seeing the sun actually like today as well. I love how Pokemon me. I do Green Lantern actually this week as well. I may go back to Blood Hunt. I may read that event, even though I'm not sure if I know the one event out. It's kind of pretty, but I'm gonna check that event out for curiosity. Maybe read that issue. Maybe who knows? But after I come into, I've been watching a classic game of my favorite game, Strike Fever Raccoonist. I love that game. It's one of my favorite games in my past decade. I'm watching that game on my channel. So, if want to play that game. That game actually not that long, so I'll probably beat the game at the main this weekend. Maybe 50% on that. But other than that, after I get my channel, I maybe watch another game in the future after I beat Strike Cooper. But other than that, not coming out. Oh yeah, I think I may see at the Inside 2, or maybe that movie. Maybe, who knows? 50%. Oh yeah.
The last thing, the last thing I'm gonna promote is that next week's game is gonna be more Assassin's Creed Odyssey / the Wonder Woman game. So we're gonna
Nice.
so we're gonna do that. But anyway, stay at work, everyone, and I'm not gonna do the whole Lois Lane bit here in honor of Comicstorian. I'm just gonna say R.I.P. my friend Benny Potter. Stay heroic, everyone.